ओम सदाशिवसमारंभा शंकराचार्य मध्यमा अस्मदाचार्य पर्यंता वंदे गुरुपरंपरां गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहि तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। As I have been talking, unless you follow, unless you look at the text step by step clearly, and of course unless you practice carefully that to all things, you will not be able to appreciate this text. And this particularly fourth chapter, being a crucial chapter, can destroy your thinking. In fact, can destroy yourself using your thinking mind. As I was looking at this chapter, really, because now I have to talk, so that's why, as I was translating few verses that I have to take, that's why I was looking at that many, that these are the things comes that one can completely destroy everything and says, look, this is not required at all, without understanding the context. As we have been seeing, when Mother Parvati asked the question, will you please tell me what are the obstacles that comes in this path? And first started very conventional way that we have already seen it, starting with Nari, Saya, Asana, all the ornaments. In fact, I was working on the translation very carefully because I thought, without giving translation there will be a lot of confusion. That's why I had to give it. So that is called conventional way of looking at these obstacles. Generally, everybody knows, common people think that's absolute no problem. So the verse number 3, 4, 5. In short, it was called as Bhoga Rupa Ime Vignaha. So these are the obstacles in the form of bhogas, in the form of sense enjoyment. That is absolutely no problem. That is acceptable. Now, if you are not following the text regularly, if you are not listening and not practicing all other things like whatever we have discussed, and of course it comes little higher stage now. Now he says, look, it is not only the bhogarupa vignaha in the form of sense enjoyment, also in the form of righteous activities. Dharma rupan iman sunu. There are dharma rupan vignaha. It is not only bhogarupa, dharma rupa vignaha also is there. Generally we know, to come to this path of yoga, one has to be a righteous person. One has to be a virtuous person. But he says those are also vignas. That is what last class we saw. We tried to gloss over quickly because we didn't have text. You people didn't have text. So it says beautifully that, especially from verse number 6 to 8, 6, 7, 8, it talks about this dharma vignaha. So what are they? Says that snanam puja vidhi, homam tatha mokshamai sthiti. Snanam, taking shower, means purifying yourself. That means what? Please understand, the person has to be elevated very high. All these things are not required. Suppose you are not elevated, wow, snanam is not required. Puja is not required because many of you guys are not doing puja. How many of you are doing regularly puja? Most important aspect. Now you can conveniently say, look, this is the best thing is, now this text says not to do puja. That's why I did not do from the beginning itself. What is there to do puja? If you know how to eat regularly, because easily you can eat, then why can't you do puja? It's a common thing. But now you can say, look, oh, very nice, now let me skip. What is there in puja? Now after all, scripture denies in the last towards, in the last chapter says, puja soiji vigna. That's why I am in the path of yoga. Let me not do any puja. That's why I did not do. In fact, I knew this is what is going to talk. My mind started suggesting this. I knew it. So that's why I did not do it. Because after all, I am elevated soul. You understand? All are justifications. No problem. You can destroy yourself by doing it. Puja, vidhi, homam. Homam means small fire rituals for yourself, for your family, small way. And of course, not only that, mokshamai sthiti, that I want to freedom, that hankering, longing for, looking for, that I want to be free. That desire for liberation, that is also is a vigna. That is also another obstacle. Brata upavasa. There are certain ways, there are certain days, we do follow certain rules and regulations, including fasting. There are certain things to be done. That is also another obstacle. And fasting. And maunam, maintaining silence. That's why you can say, I always talk, I don't spare anybody. In fact, when I get a chance, I only talk because after all, I know what is yoga. And then says, Indriya Nigraha, controlling sense organs, means I can allow my sense organs to do whatever they want. Because see, controlling sense organs is another obstacle. And going that, Vapi Kupatadagadi, Prasada, Arama Kalpanaha. So doing welfare, like a digging, a well, a pond, well, and of course bigger, let us say, water sources for the welfare of others, so that other animal, other people can drink, can use it. That is also obstacle here, he says. And of course creating shelters for others, whether it is a chowal tree, whether it is a palace, whether it is a big hall, small hall, whatever, small house, big house, all these things also another obstacle. And he says, not only that, yajna, doing a fire ritual in a grandeur manner, that too for the welfare of the society. That is also obstacle. And of course, Kuchra Chandrayana Vratam, that is a very crucial, we say Kuchra Chandrayana, very strict way we do one type of vows, one type of rituals, where a lot of things are involved. That is also called obstacle. Going to different pilgrimage places, that is called also obstacle. So that means there are different type of obstacles. Now it very clearly says, wow, this is what Swamiji I was looking for all the way. Why didn't you tell me beforehand? How do you tell me this thing? I think you have really taken very long time to tell this thing. I knew it. This is what is going to come. If not today, tomorrow. And he says, Drusyante cha ime vigna dharma rupena sanstita. So these are called dharma rupa. So it being established is called as a righteous way. And these are the obstacles. Please understand who says all these things. You have to understand why and how. In fact, next let me see. Then jnana rupena. It is not only that. We need to see very nicely. Let us look at the next verse. Then we'll be understanding, so that I will summarize why all these things are called vignas, obstacle. Or else if you take this word, 1 or 2, 3 verses, perfect destruction. That is how most of the yoga people are free from God, free from puja, free from everything. Now you understand the clue. Because Shiva Samhita says, we are elevated yogis. That's why we don't do anything. In fact, we don't take bath. That's why we do practice yoga without taking bath, until the next fellow tries to run away from me. Till that time I manage, okay? Because after all, these are obstacles. Okay, next verse, let us read beautifully. The verse number 9. Yattu vignam bhavet jnanam kathayami varanane gomukham swasanam krutva dhauti prakshalanam chatat nadi sanchara vijnanam pratyahara nirodhanam kukshi sanchalanam kshipram pravesha indriyadhvana. Beautiful way of looking at. He says, don't worry, all these things fantastic, but also there are many obstacles related to knowledge. First was sense of enjoyment, obstacle, bhoga rupa. Second one was called dharma rupa, in the way of righteous approach. Third one, in the form of knowledge. They are also obstacles. Means whatever we have studied, everything is being negated. So says, oh Varanane. So Varanane means a beautiful looking face. So Shiva says, oh grandeur looking face. Means, oh beautiful lady. Now what is that? He says, look, Yattu Vignam Bhavet Jnanam. There are certain things called Vignam, obstacle, with reference to Jnanam. Kathayami, I am going to explain you. I shall explain. And what is that? He says, Gomukham swasanam krutva dhauti prakshalanam chatat. Because I hope you remember, those who have attended, as usual, because already somebody says, I know Swamiji, you have got a very good trick. Please refer either Yoga Vidya book or refer Yoga Vidya TTC, or always you are telling refer and you are escaping. So what can I do? That is how I have to do it. So we had already discussed in Yoga Vidya TTC based on Gheranda Samhita all these Sad Kriyas. If time permits, sometimes if we may take Gheranda Samhita in details. Let me see. So he said that even if dhauti, because dhauti is for internal cleaning. It's like, in short I can say, like you keep using a pot, that too let us say mud pot, because always mud pot, why this body also is like mud. So you are using mud pot. You are keeping, remember, not like this nowadays stainless steel. Stainless steel is, is a useless thing to eat. Eating stainless steel is not acceptable. And of course, this is what you call plates, what you call this China plates. They say in India we call China plate, okay? All these ceramic plates, okay? So ceramic plates we call China plate. Ceramic plates, let me talk. Because eating, that is basically, is nothing, is called what? Clay. So, eating on the clay also, daridrya buddhi comes. That's why, that sense of me, mine, you try to, what you call, synchronize yourself, or you can really say, like, withdrawing yourself from everybody and everything because you eat on this plate. So, plate should be first preference. If you can have gold, fantastic. If you cannot have, at least silver, okay? If you cannot have silver, at least go for calcium. So calcium means bronze. The copper and a few other things, they mix it properly and they do it. That is how it's supposed to be. Of course, the best thing is, silver. Nothing like having food on silver plate. Because when you have plenty of money to waste, every 4 years, 5 years, you have to change the car. Just observe everything. How much money you waste? What will be the cost of a plate? One plate, maybe you will die with that plate. You understand? And a silver plate is something not only gives the richness of your food, also when you start eating through the silver, lot of benefits you will get. Free from germ. Because especially during this corona, even if you eat in the silver plate, that bacteria will not able to spread much through the silver. You know better things. Silver has got many things to do. What I am trying to say is, okay, let me, I extended went to silver unnecessarily. So when you are having, let us say, mud pot, you are eating on a mud pot, and you put water, you put all sort of, pasta, pizza, rasam, sambar, all sort of thing, and you keep eating. Now what will happen? Slowly you will discover a thick layer will settle down inside the pot. That's why once in a while what you do, you clean it. In fact, all the cleaning thing comes. This liquid, that liquid, how much money you spend in liquids cleaning your vessels. Imagine, this is also another vessel. At least this vessel you are using, let us say, maximum 2 times in a day or 3 times a day. That too 10-15 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour. Then again clean it, keep it. Every time you use, clean it. But this vessel, 24 hours are used. Inside water, inside pistachio, no problem. Pasta, what not, everything is dumped inside. And the worst thing is, small portion is left. Ant may come, something may go waste. Why to go waste? Let me dump inside. Basically, a dump pad, you understand? So you keep pushing everything inside. Do you clean? So that's why dhauti, because I brought all these things, point dhauti we do. So put the cloth completely inside, which really works very nicely. And when you bring it out, you see that cloth will be blackish. And really, then after that you feel very light, body becomes very light, entirely different thing altogether. Anyway, what I am trying to say is, here he says, that is also an obstacle. Then he says, why to do all these things after all obstacle? That's why I am not interested in all these things. Then finally says, not only that, Nadi Sanchara Vijnanam. So how to move nadis from one nadi to another nadi, how to keep changing your nadis, that knowledge. And of course, Pratyahara Nirodhanam. With the help of Pratyahara, how you are able to restrain, control your sense organs. That is also obstacle. Kukshi Sancharanam, what we call as an auli. So you are able to change your stomach. Do this way, that way, all these things, okay? All these things is also considered as obstacle. And not only that, he says beautifully that Nadi Karmani, Shipram Pravesa Indriyadvana, Nadi Karmani Kalyani, Bhojanam Sriyatam Mama. So if you look at all these things, then all these things comes under, please understand, that obstacle. Now let me talk about with reference to food. So there are notions we have, means that is also obstacle. What are they? Quickly I say so that it becomes easier for you to look at. Navadhatu rasam chindi shunthikastadayet punaha ekakalam samadhisyat lingabhutamidam shrunu. Says beautifully, which I myself, I was trying my best, I did not understand, to be very honest, that's why I am openly saying it. So that, there is certain type of navarasa dhatu, navadhatu rasam. So navadhatu means from a new, generally new grains, new something. It can be nava also 9, but it looks like from new grain. So in that rasam, in that liquid, that fluid, so they add shunthi. Shunthi means dry ginger. So when they add it, then what happens? When you consume that, so you get instant trance, samadhi. So maybe from this, these people have taken this, Marivanna yoga, okay? So might be, who knows, in that Marivanna rasam, sorry to talk all these things, okay? Please understand, this is just a joke, okay? In marijuana ashram, hard sunti. Please don't try, okay? Which I do not know, I cannot verify, okay? So in that rasam, in that liquid or that essence juice, so add some sunti dried ginger and eat. You understand? Instant trance. So that he says, that is also obstacle. Means you do not look for this trance or samadhi. And he says, okay, all these things is fantastic. I would like to know some other thing. And what is that? Related to influence of other people. Linga bhutam idam. Being associated with different beings. What happens? Again, that is also being destroyed. That is also another wrong notion. What is that? Sangamam gaccha sadhunam sankocham bhaja durjanam pravesa nirgame vayuho gurur laksham bilokayet. So generally what happens? This is what everywhere everybody talks. That get associated with good people. Sadhunam sangamam gaccha. That's why from this from this concept this Buddhism came. Buddhism is very, that's why I said the first missionary in the world, do you know who? Buddhism. The real missionaries are Buddhism, not the missionaries. In fact, do you know what is their mantra? Shangham saranam gacchami. So you need to take shelter under Sangham. That Buddham saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. So they make it that is a mantra. So you have to follow the mission. In fact, you have taken shelter in mission. And a missionary has no vision. Missionary has got what? Completely propaganda attitude. Let me not get into too much. So you understand the clue. So that's why it says, Sangamam Gaccham. So Sangamam Gaccha Sadhunam. So following Sadhu Sangha. Looking for company of good people. Because through that you get elevated, you learn many things. So he says, that is also notion. Sankocham Bhaja Durjatam. You need to have Sankocham. Some type of reluctance. Some type of inhibition with reference to bad people, with reference to low thinking people. He says that is also wrong. And not only that, interesting, he says pravesa nirgame bayuhu, which already we have been guru laksham bilokait. Generally you spend a lot of time, which we have discussed in the beginning in details, that entering the air, as you are inhaling, how it enters. When you retain how what it happens, and when it goes away, what it happens. You are supposed to visualize, you are supposed to be aware of all these things. In the beginning itself I had highlighted a lot, and that was also negated. That is also negated. I mean, that is also another obstacle. You understand? Whatever you started holding on to, now everything is being destroyed. Now let us look at the next verse so that I will summarize everything put together. Pindastham rupa sansthascham rupastham rupa varjitam brahmi tasmin matavastha hrudayancha prashamyati. It destroys one more step now. Don't worry. So you need to also look at this point here. Says, look, generally we know what is that? That Brahma etasmin. So the Brahman is the creator of everything. He is me. He is the creator. He is the sustainer. In fact, he is the material cause. And of course, being his everything, now we have to understand that. Free from, at the same time, also free from all rupa varchitam, all forms. That is what called Brahman in details. So this Brahman resides in this physical body. It has got a form, at the same time formless. Form without form. The creator of everything, at the same time not created by anything. All these things, he says, don't worry, all these things what? This is just a philosophy. It's a way of thinking. Why? Hrudayancha prasamyati. Just to calm down your mind. Means this is not required, this is also another obstacle. Ityate kathita vignaha jnana rupe vyavastitaha. All these things are considered what? Vignaha, obstacles, and in the form of knowledge. Now when this happens, with this much I have done translation because my mind was blowing. I said, wow, now how to take this class for these people? They will say, wow, Swamiji, you made a mistake. Instead of taking this first, second, third and fourth chapter, straight you would have come to the fifth chapter. Then it would have become easier and we would have made your photo and make you as our really role model and God. Swamiji, you do what exactly we want. Swamiji, it's not right whatever you did it. Please understand why it talks. In fact, this is one of the methodology of teaching. Because the methodology of teaching is very clear, or else unless it is being followed by this traditional teaching, it will be a disaster. We say beautifully, this is one of the point comes. This is called neti neti starts. No iti, no iti. This is not, this is not. Whatever you hold on to, whatever you consider that is a truth, the job of the teacher is what? To destroy. So already in the beginning we say what? Adhyaropa apavada. I hope you remember this terminology. So adhyaropa apavada prakriya. Prakriya means methodology of teaching. So adhyaropa means superimposition. Apavada means again we destroy that. Negate that. Negating the superimposition. We superimpose, then we negate. So that prakriya was very highly talked in the first chapter. Then after talking first chapter, this adhyaropa apavada prakriya. Now here it talks about neti neti prakriya. Noiti, noiti. So whatever you hold on to, that has to be destroyed. Or else what will happen is, you will try to say, oh, this is what all about it. Then you get stuck. Because it is exactly like we say very nicely. Suppose each one try to see, few blind people try to see, try to feel, try to experience elephant. Remember, few blind people try to see in their way, okay? Because they see better than us, remember. Try to see, try to experience, try to feel what is elephant. Now each one will come up. Elephant is like a pillar. Means somebody has caught hold of the leg and try to move. Said, look, elephant is exactly like a pillar. Perfect. Now somebody says, elephant is like a rope, because fellow caught hold of the tail. Now somebody says, look, elephant is like a moving pillar, swinging pillar, because caught hold of the trunk. Now somebody say, no, elephant is like wall, because saw the body, try to touch, never ending. Now all of them are right. Nobody is wrong. But who has seen the elephant? What will say? When somebody says, no, elephant is like a pillar. No, it is a wrong notion. If somebody says, no, elephant is like a rope. No, it is a wrong notion. So whatever the person talks, because a blind person will hold on to one thing, whatever is convenient or whatever is known to it or whatever is already habituated. That's why you'll be surprised to see and observe. A blind person will not change the place, change the people, change the road so quickly. Very difficult. Whatever people they will hold on to. Whatever place they will hold on to. Even if when they walk that particular path, they will stick to it. Even if you try to manage them to take to a new place, new way of, easier way, they will not. That's why you will be surprised and shocked to see everywhere, every common places, when they make the path for blind people, they make it straight. They never make this way or that way. Always a straight 90 degrees, straight 90 degrees. Because they are very people, because this is the psychology. Please understand. A blind person, whatever holds, will not give up so quickly. In fact, a blind person doesn't believe anybody. Whatever holds, that is the truth, that is the final. And remember, when we are blind, and you know how you are blind, at least that person blind physically with reference to color and form. But we are blind to many things. And when we are blind or whatever with reference to whatever we are blind, remember, definitely do you hold on to that or not? We never give up. We never allow to let it go. That's why I say, when you do not allow anything to let it go, that means with reference to that, you are a blind person. Whatever you do not allow to let it go, with reference to that, you are a blind person. It can be object, it can be person, it can be relationship, it can be anything in your life. So that's why here he says that a learned person or the person who has seen the elephant will say, no, this is wrong, this is wrong. So also here it is said, whatever you hold on to, that is wrong. Another way we look at very nicely, that you need to give up. This is called sannyasa. And after giving up everything, what you say? Yah tyajati. The one who keeps giving up. Tat tyaja means the one who gives up everything. First you give up. After giving up, the one who keeps giving means says that I am giver, I am giver. Giving is giving up everything. That the sense of giver, that I am giver, the sense of that ownership, that also has to be given up. If you do not give up that, but always you say, I have given up, I have given up, that means really you have not given up anything. Only physically you have given up. You have given up with an agenda. You have given up for a purpose. You have given up for many things. So you need to give up. Please understand, the one who is working to give up everything or the one who gives up. That notion that I am a giver, that I am giving, that notion has to be given up. Then only that giving becomes complete. That is how this sannyas tradition. So that is being highlighted here in this prakriya. That whatever you hold on to, whatever you say is true, is right. Here it says not like that. Number one. Number two, as the Siddha tradition highlights, you have to keep your fire active. including this last was this about Brahman, the absolute truth that is being taught. So if you say, look, everything is a Brahman, I am Brahman, there is no difference, there is no form, then what happens? There will be no push for you to maintain your prana. Then what happens? Your prana gets completely polished. There is Siddha concept that surviving for years, for surviving for kalpas, different kalpas, okay, different creations, will not be possible either. This Jiva Samadhi concept will not be possible either. I am just trying to make you to understand from different angle, from Siddha standpoint and from Vedanta standpoint. That's why I took first Neti Neti Prakriya, not this methodology. Then after that I am coming to the Siddha Prakriya. Because once you say this is enough, I have reached, that means after that you cannot practice, your practice gets saturated then and there. You understand? The moment you say I have reached, I have achieved my target, next day your practice stops. To be very honest, I was doing the same thing the moment I understood. This is what I understood that time later on. After that, I stopped my practice. Or else I would have become some, sitting somewhere, wow, doing all the miracles and whatnot. I would have done greater things. Thank God. Or bad God, okay? Not thank God, bad God. It's a new word today I'm using, okay? I'm sorry, bad is not God, okay? God is never bad. Okay, not thankful to God. Or else, wow, okay, doing all the miracles and whatnot. But I would rather say, thank God, I was not caught. However, so when it talks all these things in details, this Prakriya, Neti Neti, why it talks? What is the purpose? Please understand, again we say, this is called, Khandanam and Mandanam. I am just trying to tell all the Prakriyas is being talked here. Khandanam, Mandanam means whatever you say will be negated. Even if you say right thing, wrong. That's why when I discover any one of you that arrogant or you are in your cocoon, in your way of thinking, what I do? Without thinking, I dismiss. I try to hit you left, right. Have you not observed? Because I understand you are in your cocoon. You have already have your confirmed idea and you want my endorsement. So when I understand that you look for my endorsement, it will not take much time you to influence me. You understand? First you look for my endorsement, then after that you will try to influence me, then finally you will try to change me and you will say, look, the way I am Swamiji, you should behave or you should think in my way. That is what happens. Remember, in any relationship, that is what happens in the beginning. Look at your relationship. Influence, first endorse, after that influence, after influence what? You have to tune according to my, you have to dance according to my tune. You understand how it works? And if you keep dancing, suddenly your leg starts paining because you are dancing on hot plate. Then what happens? If you stop, then the fight starts, the war starts. This is how it happens in relationship. It can happen with reference to any relationship in life, including Guru and Shishya. That's why many times this fight between Guru and Shishya also happens. The best example I can give in North India, many times the disciples takes over Guru's place in this way, especially in Haridwar. There are many sadhus, I don't want to talk. They have done a lot of things with their gurus. Lot of allegations, including one of the famous sadhus. However, let me not get into all these controversial statements here. What I am trying to say here is, this is how natural tendency. That's why the job of the teacher is to do khandanam. So whatever you say is wrong, even if you are right. As long as the teacher does khandanam, remember that long the teacher is teaching you. This is the secret. As long as the teacher does khandanam, negates you, stops you, that long the teacher is trying to teach you. When the teacher stopping you, says yes, that means teacher is no more teaching you. Either teacher is tired or teacher feels that you are tired, or there is no hope. You understand? That's why the khandanam is a must. In fact, in life, you need to look for khandanam. Like in a vehicle, if there is no brake, imagine what will happen to the vehicle. Forget about what will happen to the vehicle, what will happen to you. And will anybody enter into that vehicle if there is no brake? I remember once it had happened to me. I can openly say one incident I cannot forget. So I was driving the car in Chennai. There was no brake. Almost zero brake, okay? And I could drive, no problem, because for me gear is there. With that I was managing. So two people were, one person was sitting behind, one person in the front. So they could make out, when they are going to the ashram, they could make out that something is wrong. So then they didn't say anything. And they understood something is really seriously wrong. Okay, after reaching, they said, Swamiji, what happened? Something is wrong with the vehicle. I said, yes, what? There was no brake. There is no brake. Yes, we could understand. Then, actually, because we had faith in you, that's why we could get into the car. We did not get into the car because of the car. Not that you are a great driver. This was not that you are a great driver. But we had faith not in your driving, but we had faith in you. I know, I do not know whether it is a compliment or it is, you understand? Let me not get into. But what I am trying to say is here, if there is no brake, will you like to get in your car? Even if because of something, because of your habit or because of something urgency, either way, even if you get into the car, will any sensible person will get into your car? Nobody will like to get into the car along with you when they discover there is no brake in your vehicle. And if there is no khandanam in your thinking, remember khandanam is your brake here. If there is not a person who can put a brake in your thinking, whatever you say, yes, then what will happen? Not only you will destroy yourself, also you will be the cause of destruction. God knows, knowingly or unknowingly, how many people or how many things you will destroy. So that's why here, this khandanam prakriya is being done. After khandanam, this is the teaching. Again, the job of the teacher is to do mandanam. Again, re-establish. Same thing. You understand? Negate. Then after that, re-establish. Somebody said to me once, what is this? You negated again, you are accepting it. Imagine if this sort of argument comes. then what you will say? Definitely you will come to a point, okay, this student is hopeless. Let me not waste my time. That's why when we hold on to the teaching, and when we look at, the logical thinking and try to see why and how and everything, then what happens? The mind becomes more sharp, and finally either we become emotional or we become really completely destructing mind. So either or it happens in our life. That's why to overcome all these things, beautifully it has been presented, all these prakriyas very carefully. Why? Which will be talked, which we'll talk tomorrow, that there are 4 kinds of yoga. So I can just introduce this verse which is not there with you all, but just introducing. Mantra yogo hatasyaiva laya yogas trutiyakah chaturtho raja yogasyat sadvidha bhavavarjitah. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.